Hello and welcome to The Voice of Todd. I'm Tom, and today, it's Wednesday, it's that time of the week. Let's talk about the latest episode of The Expanse. This is The Expanse Season 5, Episode 7, Oyedeng. First, with this one, before we get into it, I would like to do that usual request. If you are enjoying the content on the channel, if you enjoy this video, please do subscribe. It makes a huge difference, it means a hell of a lot, and I do appreciate all the support. I do know that I've not been putting out a huge amount over Christmas. That ran into last week when I was ill. Everything is, I think, getting back to normal now. There's a lot that I want to talk about, there's a lot going on. If you want to keep up to date, hit that bell. And thank you so much for being here. Hopefully I will see you in the future, but it's not why we're here. Why we're here is to talk about this new episode. So let's get straight into it. Now, as usual, there will be spoilers. I'm going to do my rundown. I'm going to try and keep it more vague than usual, purely just because I don't want to make it a 3-hour rundown of an hour-long episode. So, if you haven't seen it, go make a brew. I will be here when you come back. And let's get into it. We open up with Naomi. She's having flashbacks of, I would say, a happier time when Philip was a baby and she was with Marco, before everything went down the way that it did. Then we're with Philip. He's reading up on the events of the Behemoth and Season 3. Marco comes in, interrupts him. Philip does that thing that all teenagers have done when their parents walk into the room, and if it's not a quickly turning the screen off or hiding your magazine or whatever, he quickly gets rid of what's on. We've all done it, let's be honest. But Marco, he feels that he's losing Philip. The connection, the strong connection that he had and the power that he had over Philip is ebbing a little bit with the introduction of Naomi this season. So he takes his son down memory lane and tries to educate him, remind him of the past. But this is Marco we're talking about, and obviously he's still plotting. After their conversation, Marco asks Philip if he can use the Chetzamoka for the cause, obviously. Philip doesn't refuse, but as it's Philip's ship, Marco's playing clever here. But yeah, he just wants to do right with his father, this Philip. His loyalties are starting to be not necessarily split, but he is building up that relationship with his mother that threatens Marco. So Marco's trying to reinsert his dominance here. We then get a little shot of the Chetzamoka docking with the Pella, and preparations will begin for the mission that Marco's got planned. So Marco goes to visit Naomi. Again, he's flexing here. There's a little bit of retelling of their past, their different interpretations of it. But eventually, having got what he wanted and again playing mind games with her, Marco just lets Naomi free on the ship. She can go where she wants. She has free reign and access to all areas. We then hop over to the Rosie and Holden. He's a bit on edge now. The Zamea hasn't shown up. They've completely lost it. It's in a busy shipping lane. Both he and Bull are on edge, actually. Monica's the voice of reason here. She has a backup plan. Nobody wants to hear it, but Monica's the one who is really figuring things out. And we get a nice scene with Holden and Bull. They have a conversation about Fred. We don't really know much about Bull and Fred. The backstory is they served in the UNN army together. Bull's a great character. I have a lot of love for Bull. I think Jose Zuniga does fantastic. He really captures the spirit of Bull, and that's down to the writing as well, but I think he's doing a great job. He really works, and the differences between Bull and Holden do show up a little bit here, which is, it's a nice scene. There's a lot of good scenes in this. This is one of them. They have a pretty deep conversation about Fred and, as I say, their relationship to the man and their different viewpoints of the man. And the comm alert goes off, and Alex has dropped them a message, or dropped specifically Holden a message saying that Alex and Bobby are returning to Tycho, hopefully to rendezvous. But as there's limited delay, they realise how close Alex is to them. And we're back then with Naomi. She's now got this freedom to move around the ship. First thing she does is head over to find Philip. I'm not going to go into it. I am going to touch on the core story in play in this episode at the end. But this scene is just fantastic, beautifully done. Naomi and Philip have a very emotional moment together. There is a lot of backstory explained here. We're getting a hell of a lot of Naomi this episode. We've been building to it, we've been waiting for it. This episode is all about her. And this is the start of her story. Just fantastic. Both Dominic Tipper and Josiah Chase Owens were beautiful in this, just perfect. We then hop back with Alex and Bobby. Avasral has been on the comm. She sent them a message following the details that Bobby sent her back in, I think, 2 episodes ago. We get a little update on UNN Navy positioning. Sounds like everything's being pulled back to Earth to protect the planet. There's a few ships out there looking for strays in the Free Navy, but everything is focused on Earth after the attack. Rightly so. Bobby has a really cool badass moment as she just casually pulls a stray bullet from her flight suit. Obviously in the power armor she took a few shots to the shoulder. She's just a badass. It's nothing. She's not even fazed by it. She's not even injured. She's really cool. And we again get a little bit more Alex and Bobby here. A little bit of interplay with Holden as well. The upshot is Razorback is going to keep tabs on the Free Navy, and Bobby has sent Holden the information that she had on the Free Navy ships and the ship profiles, and the information that Mars is working with or even funding Marco's Free Navy. Holden, checking the ship profiles, sees that the Chetzamoka is part of the Free Navy as well, and he's starting to lose focus a little bit. He does tell Alex that Marco has Naomi captive. We do, and I'll touch on it here. There's a nice little play between Alex and Holden. I call him Holden, everyone calls him Holden, even the crew, everybody that knows him calls him Holden. But Alex actually calls him Jim when they're talking about Naomi. It's that real closeness of the crew. Works really well. It's a nice little touch, but it works well, and I did pick up on it, as I'm sure many did. But as I say, Holden is starting to lose it a little. We're then back with Apella, and Sin has just finished pre-flight checks on the Chetzamoka. He heads to the canteen to find Naomi, who is now free. Another fantastic scene with Brett and Dominique. Really powerful. You get so much of the two of them, their closeness, their relationship, and the choices that were made that have led them both to this point. Big revelations here. Fantastic scene. We're back with Holden on the Rosie. He's in the canteen on the Rosie as well. Monica's in there with him. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They're both like their conspiracy theories. Holden always has crazy theories. He's usually right, but it definitely seems that they are worried about the inclusion of Mars in all of this. They then move on to the protomolecule, but before they get any deeper into the conversation, Bull's on the comm, and the Rosie has found her prey, and it's time for some juice. We then jump to Marco on his bridge. He's pretty pissed. I think he's just had a message or some kind of communication from the Zemaya, and Sin gets the brunt of his anger. It is about Naomi. Really, she's the biggest thorn in Marco's side right now. But there's something personal going on between Sin and Marco. And Marco he's becoming a little savage. I wouldn't say desperate. He's still quite calculated, but he is running short on patience at this point. Back to the Rosie as it's bearing down on the Zemaya, but the Zemaya has a few tricks, torpedo-sized tricks. And it's time for some thrilling heroics from Bull and Holden. Really cool scene. We haven't had much space stuff, space battles and things, and it's really nice when we get it. It's done really well. Yeah, loved it. But the plan here is that Holden they'll damage the Zemaya enough so that they can board it and interrogate the crew. So, having got out the little trap that was left for them, Holden uses the Rosie's railgun to disable the ship. I didn't know the Rosie had a railgun. I've totally missed that. It's really cool. But the crew of the Zemaya have other ideas and they detonate the core, destroying the ship and potentially the protomolecule. Back with Marco. We do see him looking at the screen on the bridge. He's focused on the information of the ring world and more specifically the 3 ships that are holding defense there. 1 Martian, 1 MCRN ship and 2 UNN. Looks like destroyers, I'd guess. But defense is obviously thin. But it's at this point that Philip walks in and demands a conversation with his father. Philip wants a command of his own. He wants his own ship, his own crew, and he wants the Belters to know his name. Marco's not really keen on that idea right now. What Marco's doing is purely for Marco. He has a cause, he has a dream. I think he believes that he's doing it for the belt, but it's all about him. He's the face of it. It's his crusade. So Marco cuts Philip down pretty quickly. But he does offer his son the hope that one day, when Marco has secured this grand vision of his rebellion, that everything that he's building will be his son's, and his son will have command over the belt. I mean, again, it's proof that Marco is doing it for his son in a way, but right now it's all about Marco, and he's reveling in being the focus of everyone. He loves the attention. We then cut to Naomi, and she is requested to go and meet Marco. This is done with Serge, who was part of Drummer's crew, and he's the tribute that was offered last week. I don't think this is an accident that he is used here. There's a reason that it was him. I mean, on the show's creators, I don't think Marco had any reason to pick him. I think it's deliberate that we see one of Drummer's crew bringing Naomi to Marco at this point. And Philip and Sin are there too. Marco basically says, yeah, you're free to go, but only after the Rosie has been destroyed. I think the words he uses are, everything you love is burned, or something like that. It's along those lines. But we're starting to see Marco's... It's not really the main plan, it's more like a subplot that's going on. Marco has issues with Holden anyway. He wants the guy dead. And things get a little ugly with Philip and Naomi. And Sin turns his back on her too. So, in the space of this episode, Naomi has gone from the prospect of a relationship with her son and help from an old friend to losing everything. And it's at that point that things turn quite drastic. So the Chetzamoka is now cast loose from the Pella. It's ready to be remote controlled, and Marco's plan and his move against the Rosie is in play. Sin has I'm going to say a moment of weakness. I don't think it is. I think it's a moment of conscience. And he checks where Naomi is and leaves his post to find her in the airlock of the Pella. And Naomi is ready to make her last desperate play to stop Marco. And she takes a leap into the dark void of space. We finish the episode with Bobby and Alex trying to keep tabs on the Free Navy, Marco gearing up for another big play, and the Rosie burning blindly into a trap with everything at stake. Naomi's life hangs in the balance. I'm going to be honest, I haven't had this strong and emotional reaction to an episode of TV, well, not since Battlestar Galactica, back in season 4 episode 11. The episode's called Sometimes a Great Notion. If you know that episode, if you know Battlestar at all, you'll know what I'm talking about here. The similarities are quite plain to see. But this episode it's a pure emotional roller coaster. We really get to zone in on Naomi here. It's all about her past with Marco, it's all about what happened with Philip, and why all of them are where they are now. I think Dominique Tipper, she's always been good, and she is the heart of the crew. But this season she's had so much to do, and she's been a revelation. I have loved every scene of her, and the emotion and the power of the character and the decisions that she's making is so clear. She's done an amazing job. Again, Josiah Chase Owens as Philip, he's been brilliant. Alexander Keon, excellent. He is perfect Marco. He really nails the character. And Brett Sexton as well, he's been fantastic as Sin. All of them have been at the top of the game this episode. I mean, this season they've been there, but this episode they blew it out the water. Just amazing. Dominique Tipper especially, she's just nailed Naomi and the trials that she's going through right now. This is the part of the book that on the one hand I was really looking forward to seeing, and then on the second I didn't know how they'd handle it, and I wasn't worried that they wouldn't get it right. I couldn't see it working in such a powerful way. They totally nailed it, and the fact that I was caught off balance with how emotional this part of the story was is evidence of that. I love this episode. The season keeps getting better and better. I say it every week, but it's true. I love the flow, the changes that they've made to the book, not just this season but throughout. They have worked, they don't feel out of place. All of the characters they feel real, they don't feel like they're acting out of character. Each and every one of them has flaws, and it's plain to see. They're all being eaten by something. They've been written brilliantly for TV. The whole show works beautifully. Get your bingo cards ready, because I am going to say it. This is the part where I'm going to say it now. Best show on TV right now. One of the best shows ever made. I don't think anybody who watches this could deny that. Just amazing. And we've still got episodes to go this season. Another little detail. I did mention Alex, Colin, Holden, Jim. All throughout this episode, maybe last episode, if it was I didn't pick up on it. But all throughout this episode, Holden is ready for war. He's in armour, he's prepped, he's ready to go. His life is meaningless until he gets Naomi back. I think that's something to maybe think about between now and the next few episodes. is that's going to come into play a little bit. This show is evidence of what a great writer's room and phenomenal talent can do. Yes, it's a sci-fi show, it's not for everyone, but the drama here is better than just about anything else. Certainly that's out now, I would say. Everything here is handled with care and respect. Not just to the source material, but also for the viewer. Ever since I've been reviewing this, and it's all for the channel, I would have watched this anyway, but I've been paying more attention to Twitter. We're not going to get anything new about Season 6 yet, but from what I've seen and how the cast, the new characters, the older characters, the writers' room themselves, how they're interacting with social media and talking about the show and talking to fans, I haven't personally seen anything like that, and I think it's fantastic that all of them want to be involved in the conversation. It obviously means a lot to them, this show. It comes through on screen, you can see it clear as day. And I think, as a final thought, that is something that, one, makes the show very special to me, to have that interaction with the people who are in it, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, whatever. But it also goes to show you what the power of the fan can do. This show has been cancelled once, twice, depending on how many times or how many rumours you've heard. The fans brought it back. The talent and the writers' room brought it back. They were all instrumental. Everybody pulled together and made this show what it is, and made this show so good. I think there's quite a few other sci-fi franchises that could learn a lot from this. Yes, I'm looking at you, CBS with Star Trek, Disney with Star Wars, and the BBC with Doctor Who. I will say that Star Wars does seem to be embracing the power of the fan, but they have a very long way to go, and they've burned a lot of goodwill with recent announcements. But back on The Expanse, this is something truly special. I'm in the position where I need the next episode, but I don't want it to end. I think we've got 3 episodes left, so over the next 3 weeks there's going to be some big moments. And I personally think this season will end on an amazing season finale. And I really hope that it continues with Season 6. What did you think of the episode? You're probably sick of hearing me talk about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. As I say, I love talking to you guys. It really does make my day. And I love talking about stuff like this. So get in touch, let me know. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.